What's going on? That's T-Shroom, but it's my voice coming through. What in the world is happening here? Oh my goodness, there we go. That was good though. You always want to start a good show off with seeing some T-Shroom. That's always a positive thing. Guys, we got a lot to talk about today. Thank you for tuning in to the Saturday edition of Investing Bros. We're going to talk about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about altcoins as well, but none of them are doing things as spicily as Chainlink. And I'm telling you right now, I do think we're about to see another pump coming very soon. And I'm not saying that when you include every single one of the how many ever millions of altcoins that Chainlink's had the biggest rally, but if we're talking about top coins, if we're talking about some of the larger caps, I think Chainlink is about to lead the rally. And I've been talking about this, but anyone who's new, maybe you guys don't watch every single show of the Investing Bros. You should change that. You should start watching more often. We have been talking about a potential breakout of Chainlink to $18, and the things that we said we were looking for that to happen have occurred. Guys, I think it could be very soon before Chainlink hits $18. I think that we are going to see a lot of cryptos continue to soar to new heights in 2023. We're going to talk about that and a whole lot more because we still also have some news stories to cover as well. Make sure you go ahead and strap on in. And here's the thing, guys. I would encourage you guys, if you have not subscribed already, but you have loved watching Investing Bros, hit that subscribe button. We are quickly approaching 6,000 subscribers. We want to get there before the end of the year, so help us out. I'm not going to ask you to smash like yet, and the reason why is because we haven't done anything to earn that like. But if you do like the stream already, you can, of your own volition, you can smash like and give us a couple of minutes, and I'm sure that you will be encouraged to go ahead and smash that like button here in just a little bit. But before we get into the bolts and crannies of the show, I do have to introduce my co-host. You've already seen him. He's glorious. He's wearing a beanie just like me. His name is T-Shroom. T-Shroom, how are we feeling today?
I'm feeling great, Tim. What I'll say is I do feel like when I'm introduced, that is one of the crannies of the show. So
it is. Well, and you're the cranny, and then the crypto is the bolts.
Right.
Ultimately of the show.
Right.
Yeah.
I just didn't want people to think that I'm not a cranny.
You are. You're right. You're one of the many crannies.
And I've got a quote of the day here for us from the one, the only, Elon Musk. He said, focus on signal over noise. Don't waste time on stuff that doesn't actually make things better.
I agree. I don't even really have a comment there. I 100% agree. My comment is going to be about the crannies of the show. Where'd you get that hat? I feel like Taylor has, and you're Taylor too. So that's, to be fair, both Taylors in my life have that same hat. Where did you get that hat from? I don't know where she got it from.
I believe this was a Christmas present from my one and only Amanda Miller.
Amanda.
My fiance.
See, I don't have an Amanda. So that's your Amanda. I'll find one of my own someday. That sounds weird. I'm not probably going to have my own Amanda. I'll just keep my two Taylors, and that's good enough for me.
There's only one.
There's only one. Well, there's actually two Taylors when we're talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
We're getting all tangled up here in this cranny.
This cranny is getting, Candle Daddy says cranny problem. We're getting a little bit there. Guys, we have crypto to talk about. So thank you to every single one of you guys who are here, who are ready to jump into this stuff. T-Shroom. Before we get into any of the technical analysis, we like to jump in, do some deep dives. We have a couple fan-requested, audience-requested coins we're going to take a look at today. But anything you want to tell the people before we jump into technical analysis?
I want to tell the people that we are actually expecting a high level of likes. Because if we get to 100 likes,
I forgot about this.
We are going to take off our beanies and reveal the beautiful domes.
Yeah. Here's the question. Is Tim balding? Is Tim going bald? And is that the reason why Tim is wearing beanies recently? Or is it because he has too much hair and needs a haircut? You guys have to guess. But we need 100 likes on the stream, and we will do a grand revealing of the beanies. That's the second cranny of the show, in case you're wondering. Let's get into the bolts. We're looking at Bitcoin here, guys. I told you we're going to take a look at Link. I'm going to spend more time over in Link, but just wanted to update you guys where Bitcoin is at and what it is doing. Wow. It is looking good, guys. When we're looking at the oscillators, we told you yesterday when we were doing the show at 3 p.m., we got the overbought signal coming, and I told you, do not be surprised if that was kind of it for this push, if we're just going to trade sideways for the next 12 to 24 hours. Well, It hasn't been a full 24 hours, but it's definitely been over 12, and my call here was correct. But what I love that I'm seeing here is that the oscillator on chart prime slightly moving to the downside, RSI just moving sideways. I do think we're seeing a little bit of a reloading phase coming in here for Bitcoin. We're not necessarily seeing any green histograms, not even all the way down on the hourly chart. So I don't know if we're going to see any explosion or fireworks during the show right now, but it could be coming later this afternoon, early tomorrow. I still think that this weekend has some more fireworks left to go. It's just not necessarily right now. Here's another good sign here. RSI on the hourly coming back down despite the fact that the price is moving sideways. What kind of glass do you look at? Are you glass half full or glass half empty type of person? Glass half empty people are going to look at this and say, Tim, that's bearish divergence. And technically, you're right. When the peaks are going down with the oscillators and the peaks are going sideways or up with the tops of the price, yes, that's bearish divergence. But if you're a cup half full type of person, you're going to say, Tim, that's bullish divergence. And you are right. When the price bottoms just go sideways or to the upside and the RSI is going to the downside, that's bullish divergence. So we've seen this happen on larger scales, like the daily chart. We've talked about this before. When you look at the daily chart, you have both bearish and bullish divergence as well. Lower highs on the oscillators, higher highs on the price, lower lows on the oscillators, higher lows on the price. The question is, which one is it? Well, in a bull trend, I give the leaning and the edge to the bulls. In a bear trend, I give the edge to the bears. So that's kind of how I like to approach this when I see it. But I'm loving what I'm seeing so far on Bitcoin. What I am keeping my eyes on, of course, as we zoom out here, guys, we're looking at that golden pocket starting off right here at about 39,096, but it also runs all the way up towards 41,000 on the macro. Keep your eyes fixed on that. Also, when we go over to liquidations, what was the last one I was looking at? Oh, I was looking at DOT earlier. So let's go to Bitcoin. Okay, did not mean to go that fast. Let's go to Bitcoin here. All right. Goodness gracious. All right, I got to scoot this over because me and T-Shroom's heads are in the way. There we go. All right. We do have some liquidity sitting up here right above us up here at 39.24. It's not quite yellow. Let's go to the 24-hour. I do believe when I was looking here earlier, we are seeing, we got some good liquidity up at 39,200. So when we flow back over here towards the charts, that is a level that we've talked about before, but it's going to be within this golden pocket. Let's go down to the 4-hour chart. Let's look right here. That 39,200 could be a correlation somewhere along. We could go a little bit above it, but end up hitting our heads once again on this blue ascending level of resistance. That's kind of what I'm watching for right now, but I am still feeling confident, ladies and gentlemen, that we will be seeing a $40,000 price action for Bitcoin, and more than likely a higher price than that. Let's move on, though, to the coin of which many of you clicked on this video for. It has been having a phenomenal last couple of weeks and months. It is one that I have said I believe will be a top 3 coin at the top of the bull market, or at least somewhere close to the top of the bull market, because of the way the institutions will love to acquire it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Chainlink. And even just looking at this chart right here, guys, this is enough for you guys to go ahead and smash that like button. If the beanie reveal isn't enough, and the fun with all the rest of the stuff that we go through is enough, this chart is enough. Go ahead and smash that like button if you are loving what you're seeing on Chainlink. If you have been watching this channel for a while now, you guys would have been being prepared for this, especially the last couple of days. I have been talking throughout the Discord, on the shows, about the potential for Chainlink to make a run up over $18. And sure enough, we have just broken some key resistance that has plagued us ever since back here on November 15th. And that formation is a flat top right here at about $15.37, but a rising level of support. And I let you guys know, watch for a breakout, and that would be a perfect opportunity to go ahead and enter a trade up to $18. Now, would not be surprised, and here's what you guys can do if you guys have not been watching. This is actually still good trading tactics, good technical analysis. You can enter right here if you want, or you could wait for a pullback, because more than likely, in my personal opinion, and we see this happen over and over and over and over again, when you break through a level of resistance, it ends up being used as some liquidity to come back down, turn it into support. So for me, if I have not even entered my trade, I'm already in my link trade because I entered down here, got a little risky. I got risky with it, guys. I entered early, even before the breakout. The risk paid off. However, If you are looking for another good entry, watch somewhere down here closer towards 1540 down to that 1537, because there's a decent chance we could see a regrouping happen before we take off and to the upside up towards $18. By the way, while I feel good about an $18 happening here, I'm not necessarily making an $18 prediction for this weekend or maybe even early next week. This is one that we could see it take even all the way up to an entire week to play out. But I still feel very confident. I love what I'm seeing here on Chainlink. It has had explosive movement here, up 5.5% on the day. In my watch list, you can't see a lot of it because me and Tisha are in the way. But of the watch list I have, which has some small caps, some large caps, I don't believe there's a bigger mover on the day, even including there's nothing I have here has as big a mover as Chainlink. Of course, if you were to go over to CoinMarketCap and you would go to 24 hours, Ordi, gonna be honest, is number 83, guys, but I'd never heard of Ordi. It's up 37% today. IOTA I had heard, and IOTA is another coin that's been on a tear recently. Probably should talk more about IOTA. Up 65% on the week, but it's up 32%. Celestia, that's another coin that has really been exploding onto the scene here. I do think that it'd be kind of foolish. There's a lot of hype about TIA right now. It would be kind of foolish to FOMO in at this point because it has had some phenomenal last couple of weeks. But if you catch a big red day, if we ever come in here and we go to the biggest losers on CoinMarketCap and you see TIA at the top of that list and you're seeing more than 10%, not going to lie, guys, that might be a good pickup. Not financial advice. I'm just saying TIA is a coin that it has been explosive. It's going to continue to be explosive. However, you don't buy on the green days. You buy on the red ones. Taking a pause real quick. Candle Daddy says, is Tim Captain Cranny? I don't know what that means, and I'm afraid that could be something that I don't want to go too much further with joining down. But thank you for the comment there, Candle Daddy. I love it. Indie Rock Crypto reminded us of Technical Tim. I don't know about technical, Tim. I don't remember saying it, but of course, if you guys want me to keep saying technical, if you want me to use that more frequently, I can. Let's come back over here and take a look at Link and see what's happening with oscillators. Something I really love seeing here, we got a bearish flash at this. Well, I gotta zoom in on price so you guys can see it. We got the bearish flash back here and then continued to the upside. What is that? That's an ignoring of bearish calls and a bullish. It just shows you how strong the bulls are by pushing through all of the noise and moving to the upside anyway. Let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. RSI is definitely very high, but this is one that I'm not necessarily too concerned about bearish divergence. You are going to hear people say, oh, Tim, what about this? Look, the RSI is higher than over here. So the chart prime oscillator and the RSI are higher despite the fact the price is still lower. Guys, that's not how this works. Again, we talked about this a little yesterday. You can't just go back for forever into the past and always be taking peaks to count out bearish divergence. The truth is what we were looking for was this peak right here. Were we going to form any type of bearish divergence with this peak? Well, we have not. Both price and oscillator are above it. So in reality, what we are looking for, anyone who is a divergence trader like me, I love divergence for my entries and my exits. What we are looking for, especially now that we have flashed bearish but ignored it, let's see where this first trend kind of ends. Let's watch for a pullback, and then let's see what happens with the next one. What I'm looking for is based off of the peak we have right now. What is the next peak? Are we forming bearish divergence? That would be my reversal signal. Not going back to this one back here. That's it's just been outplayed by these other peaks we've had more recently. You gotta have this thing where you wipe the slate and move forward. Don't always hold to the past. You're gonna end up getting wrecked in your trades, and you're not gonna understand why. Erase the slate, move forward. That's the best advice I can give you. Let's take a look at some other things here with Chainlink. Let's take a look at fixed range volume profile, because we do have some price above us. So keep your eyes. If we keep pushing bullishly this morning, I'm going to take a look at liquidations here in just a second as well, but keep your eyes on this valley right here, this dip in volume. We have another high level of volume here at 1620. So what I'm watching for is potentially when we get to 16, first of all, that's a psychological level just because it's a clean number, but also we have a low amount of volume right there. A lot of times those are what are used for resistance. We're kind of hovering right now close to the peak, might be even using that as support. Let's take a look at liquidations here using a link. Come on down here, 24 hours. Not a lot of volume. And we have a lot of liquidity way below us all the way down here. What is that? Because it's not even telling me. All the way down at 1466. Let's go look at the chart and see how low is 1466. 1466, we're talking about coming back down towards point of control. I'm going to be honest with you guys, just because there is liquidity down there does not mean we have to go fill it. This might be one of those things actually where if we go back to liquidations, come on now, there we go. If we go back to liquidations and come up to larger time frames, let's go to 3-day first. Let's go. Yeah, there's just not a lot above us. And to be fair, guys, when there's not a lot above us, that could make low volume very easy. If there's just not a lot of people that want to sell and take profit, the few people that want to buy will just blast up through all of this. If we go out even longer, let's go into a month. That's going to give us a little more. Let's see if we find anything up above us. No, in fact, what we see is a lot of nothing up above us. And again, this is really hard. You don't want to trade based off of one thing. I know I tell you guys all the time, look at the yellow slots where there's liquidations. That's very attractive levels to keep your eyes on. But at the same time, when you are in a bullish move and you see no volume, no liquidations or there's no liquidity just sitting up above you, it actually allows for a lot of people to make a big push and move up to the upside. And again, we're talking about that move possibly getting all the way up towards $18. So that is what I'm looking at right here for Chainlink. Let's just do one little macro outlook here before I move on. Again, this was the coin that we were talking about today that we were very excited about. Of course, we're seeing Fibonacci. Fibonacci levels would say golden pockets all the way up here to 21, up towards 23.70, so $23.70. That could absolutely happen here. That's still a big rally, and you know, if Bitcoin goes 50K, yeah, I think that could happen. I think that could very much happen. But if Bitcoin does kind of stay in the range of 40 to 42, to me, I think $18 is the much more it's the much safer bet here. And again, with the formation showing us this bullish movement, I am sitting there saying, all right, I think that's a realistic price prediction for Chainlink. But let me know in the comments. Let me know right now in chat. And if you're watching this after we're live, comment down below. How bullish could Chainlink be? Is it? Are we done? Like, was this a fake out situation here? Or will we hit $18? Will we hit $21? Will we hit $24? Let me know if you think maybe even higher than that before a larger pullback. T-Shroom, I have a couple more. We have some requests from you guys in Discord. You guys have made requests. You got to be in our free Discord. That's going to be a new thing moving forward, that when we do some random coin TA, I'm going to be asking, first of all, our members. So our members with the higher levels of Discord, you guys will get top priority. But I also will ask the regular Discord members, what do you guys want to see? We are going to be looking at H-bar here in just a second. And I think the other one was render. So render and H-bar were requested. But T-Shroom, I'm going to take a second to breathe. What are some of your thoughts so far?
Well, we've actually got a story on Chainlink. So while we're on it, it's actually great timing, Tim, for you to take a breather. Chainlink whales begin to accumulate.
Yes.
20% upswing could be imminent this week. So very, very interesting. You see the charts here. 200 richest Link wallets hold a combined 746.5 million coins worth 11.8 billion. So very, very bullish there, and they're buying. So, you know, it's something that's causing a lot of folks who pay attention to the on-chain data to think twice about taking profits. Think twice about skipping a DCA. This is definitely a bullish moment for Chainlink for sure. In the past 5 months, the market cap has soared 143%. compared to 93% of Bitcoin. So it is outpacing Bitcoin, at least on the market cap percentage move. And in the long term, the Link price is testing one of the pivotal resistances and failing to surpass these levels for a couple of weeks, right? So we just showed that on the charts. And it's, that is also evident to a lot of other, authors here at, what is this, Coinpedia. So, that's just what I'd point out, is that the on-chain analysis is a little bit of confluence here with the bullish sentiment that we are extrapolating from the charts.
And like I said, do not be surprised if there is a small pullback. And there was, when we look at Bitcoin, we're looking at other coins, there's still lower levels of liquidity. I wouldn't be surprised if we pull back down to 1538. But there's a couple reasons why I like this 1837. Not only is it the prediction, again, if you're wondering where this line came from, it's coming from this right here. You measure from that level of resistance down to the low that starts off this higher low and flat level of resistance. You move this over to the breakout point. That's why you get that price action. But historically, it's not quite perfectly that level, but it's very close, right? Well, let's actually look. I'm going to use the tool. Remember, look up here for this high on that white candle back on Sunday, April 3rd. That's the birthday of my brother. The high was 1835. That's going to be a level right there psychologically. People are going to remember that was a high before the bottom just dropped out on Chainlink. We came all the way down to $5.27 and then started that long sideways trading there on Chainlink. So that's another reason why I think that's going to be, that's some more confluence. And also, by the way, depending on when that article was written, T-Shroom, I know they talked about a potential 20% rise. Well, guess what? If you had bought right at that level of resistance, or if the article was written right around that time, look at the percentage from that blue line up to our breakout prediction, 20%. So not that article is 100%. A lot of times you read these articles and they throw out these really bullish numbers, or they throw out, and they don't really have strong bases for them. However, I think it's coincidental, and maybe that one was written by someone with some technical analysis experience, because it lines up perfectly with that call that we have made here. But that's enough about Chainlink. Let's get into some of the ones that were requested. Let's start off with HBAR, because this actually was requested yesterday, and I did not see it, and I told everybody that requested it in the Discord. I said, all right, we'll cover this on Saturday morning show. Come back. All right. The first thing I want to kind of note about HBAR. This is another coin that is similar, has a similarity to Cardano in the sense of it is still massively, massively down from the all-time highs. All-time highs, of course, came back in September of 2021. That's pretty close to when Cardano's was as well. I think theirs was August. Kissed here on this rally we've had more recently, kissed almost perfectly on that 0.236 level. Well, guess who else did that? That was Cardano. Did the exact same thing. Go back down to HBAR though. We are still down almost 90%. When I grab this from all-time high, we are still almost down 90% from the all-time high, 89.5%. This coin is massively overextended and similar to Cardano. Guys, you guys know I love Cardano. So I have more of a bullish lean, and I have reasons to have bullish lean. But I also understand the bearish argument that people are going to say, Tim, if Cardano's so great, why can't it have a good pump? Why is it still so low? And that's a fair argument. Bad projects and projects that will not be successful can have stuff like this happen, like HBAR and Cardano, where despite the fact that other coins are pushing up towards 50% lines and golden pockets, they're not even able to get over the 236. There's the thing I want to clarify to you guys, though. I want to make sure you understand this. Just because a coin is still 90% down from all-time high is not an end-all be-all for saying that it will not make it in the next bull market. You still want to look at what does the team look like? What does the community look like? What does the development look like? It is a sign of a coin that's not going to make it, but it's not the only one. And when I'm talking about Cardano and HBAR, these are still coins, projects that I believe have a future plan to move forward. Now, out of curiosity, I'm not going to get a lot from this one because you really don't see the bear market in HBAR. I'm going to go to the Cardano chart because I want to show you guys something, but we're still talking about HBAR here, so stay with me. We're going back over here to Cardano. I just wanted to make this point to you guys. Let's go back to the bull market top back here on January 18, down to the bottom price action of the bear market. We won't really worry too much about Cardano. I just want to show you guys that this is another one that we did not necessarily get explosive price action. A lot of altcoins, don't count about that one, that was a wick right there. A lot of altcoins still made it up to higher levels. Cardano was one that on its bounce, it did wrestle with that 0.236 for a while, wrestle with it back here as well, but it didn't even make it all the way up to its 0.382. So there might have been some naysayers back here, back in 2019 saying, Cardano's dead project. Look, it can't even make it up above the 0.382. It went down, even set brand new lows below that. This is a dead project. Well, no, it went on to become probably the most explosive coin in all of the 2021 bull market. My point here is when you're looking at it again right here, wrestling with 0.236, when you're looking at HBAR and you're looking at it wrestle with the 0.236, that is something we have seen happen before. And in reality, if you're a cup half full type of person and you believe in the team behind it and you believe in the development that's happening, you could actually see an opportunity to have the biggest growth from here on out. So let's just say this, like with Cardano, I think Cardano is going to make a move up to the 0.382. H bar looking up here at about 10.4 cents definitely could happen. That would be an explosive move for H bar in this pre-halving cycle to have a nice 70% rally to the upside. When you take a look at things like Solana, where it's already wrestling with the golden pocket, you're looking at things like Link, and I love Link, guys, but it's already wrestling with the 0.5. We'll probably make a push up above the 0.5. When you're looking at even the likes of like XRP, it made a push up already to the golden pocket, but the more recent rally made it all the way to 0.5. I'm not saying that these coins cannot rally here over the next little bit, but when I look at coins like Cardano and I see how overextended it is, knowing that it still has a massive community and is still doing some amazing things developmentally, and I look at the likes of HBAR, which is in a similar boat where it's like, hey, they still have a strong community. There's still a future here for HBAR. To me as an investor, this actually is exciting because it means that I have a higher potential for moves to the upside. I still think Solana and Link are good, but I think that they've gotten the massive majority of their rally out of the way. Whereas when I'm looking at HBAR and I'm looking at Cardano and I'm looking at others that are still 90% down from their all-time highs, to me as a trader, I see that as an opportunity to take advantage of, not a downside movement. Unless, and of course, this you guys need to continue to think for yourself, if you think HBAR is dead, if you think Cardano is dead, if you think these are coins that are not going to make it in the next bull market, they're pretty much on their last legs, then those are the ones you stay far away from, you run, and you don't want anything to do with them. These, though, are not examples of that, in my personal opinion. T-Shirt, what do you think? Well, I really haven't even gotten into like this micro stuff. I just want to explain the investing opportunity here before I jump into the oscillators.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me give you a little bit of fundamental analysis on it all.
Yeah.
I brought up a couple of graphics to show you. So this is one thing to note. The H bar is an ISO 20022 compliant coin, right? Which that narrative has definitely lost a lot of traction, but it is still something that some investors are focused on. You might be one of them. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments. What do you think about the ISO narrative? Do you think it's kind of fading away? But as you can see, these are all coins that are kind of vying for institutional use case, right? So obviously the chief, as this graphic puts it, is as XRP, right? Most folks would agree with that. XDC also on there, HBAR, Algorand, IOTA, Stellar, Quant, and I'm not sure what this one is, but ultimately, you can kind of see what kind of list HBAR is in there with. And the next thing I would show you is this. This is the reason why I hold HBAR, which is because of their governance board, which has Google, Boeing, FIS, which is a global payment system, IBM, Dell. So to me, and there's the other thing that's cool is there's a limited amount of these governance board members. So they're adding to them. Ubisoft is on there. So is this the coin that I have like the most allocated to? Not by any means. Am I the most bullish on it? No. But I do hold it because I think that the ISO narrative is a pretty significant one. I do think it's waned. I still think it is pretty significant. And that HBAR is well positioned to capitalize in that narrative and do pretty well. So I have about as much HBAR as I do XRP. Ideologically, I do not agree with what HBAR and XRP are trying to do especially in the world of CBDCs. A lot of it's just digitizing a lot of the issues and problems from the fiat traditional finance world, but they're going to make money, right? They're going to do well in the bull market, in my opinion, and but they're definitely not ones that I have any kind of emotional attachment to. Sorry. So that's my fundamental analysis on HBAR. I think it'll go up, but
Yeah, now, well, and I think that's really good and helpful, I think, to a lot of people when they're deciding what they want to do. Let's take a look at some shorter term analysis here for HBAR. We did on the 4-hour chart get a red reversal here. RSI got lightly above that 70, but we're kind of respecting it. So it could be moving to the downside on the 4-hour chart, at least to the mid level. I'm going to watch out for the RSI. We wicked there, but we moved back up. Would not be surprised to see us move a little more to the downside. However, I want to make just a point here. We are breaking bullish here over the last couple of hours, over the last like 12 hours. How many is that? How many candles that is on the 4-hour chart? We broke above it here. Let's just look at the time. Yesterday around 11. All right, so we're over 24 hours because I didn't count the candles right there. Rising level of support, falling level resistance. We broke above it. That is bullish for now. Let's continue to watch what happens there. Hourly chart, when we come over and look at it, when we're looking at oscillators, you will see it's falling very quickly. We're not quite overextended. We're getting slight green histograms here from the MVP oscillator, which means it doesn't mean this is the bottom. It just means we're probably getting close. Would not be surprised to see us come back down and retest the support blue line right here, the rising one, not the falling one. Let's even take a look here at liquidations. Let me make sure, because I've never gone in, so far as to finding and looking for H-bar using liquidations, but I would imagine it's going to be on here. Keep on scrolling, keep on scrolling, keep on scrolling. It's not definitely a top one. If I passed it, let me know so I don't do anything stupid. They have 100 Pepe on here, but they don't have H-bar. XLM was pretty low, though. Okay, let's keep going. Caspa, all right, interesting. You just got to keep scrolling for it. Man, they have to have it. Oh, I got a long way to go. And I don't. Is this one I can type? Oh, okay. Well, I just wasted. All right, if you guys want to not smash the like button because I just wasted your time, that's completely fine. But we're going to look at H-bar. All right, we do have some liquidations here below us. Let's go scroll up here. We got some a little bit flashing right here at about 6 cents. That would be 607. And then we have some more right here below 6 cents, around 5.9 cents. Let's take a look on the chart. What does that look like? So if we're sitting at 612, what do we say, 605, coming in right down here towards that line. And then that right below 6 cents would be if we dropped and wicked slightly below that support level and maybe made a move down towards the resistance level. That still wouldn't even be the worst thing in the world. Let's say the price action did do that and lost support, but it still finds and bounces off the resistance trend. That could still be a bullish push right there. So being above both of these lines, one of them has continued to stay support and one of them was former resistance, that's still a good sign. So that's kind of what we're looking at with liquidations. When you're talking about a move to the downside, you do still have some liquidity up here at 6.3. So if we make a little more of a pump, we're going to be coming up right in here. Yeah, somewhere in this range on the high we had back here on November 23rd during a small little pullback. But as a whole, macro, I'm more bullish on this one. Micro, I'm bullish. I just think a small pullback could happen before it moves to the upside. Let me know what you guys think. Last one I'm looking at here, and I think later we might take a look at Caspa too, because I saw that T Shroom put that in the thumbnail, and so maybe he has a thought there. We did talk about a trade opportunity, which I have some good news about that. I'm going to probably enter that trade today. I'm waiting for a pullback, but we'll have to talk about that one here in a little bit. Let's talk about render, though. People were asked us yesterday for render. We talked about this one before. Potential bull flag opportunity right here that we did break out. We could see the price action bring us back up to a level of resistance. When we go to the daily chart, yeah, a level of resistance that would put us still within a rising wedge, which is macro bearish, but micro bullish unless we break it, which we've been doing with some of the other coins recently. So just because you're in a rising wedge at the moment isn't a death sentence for your coin. It just is a level of resistance to keep an eye on. But still seeing that continue to play out. But coming back down those lower time frames, you will see momentum has waned here just a little bit over the last couple of hours. We were making that bullish push to the upside. We're pulling back down right now. Let's see what the oscillators are saying. Yeah, before I even pulled this up, I was going to say I would not be surprised to see at least a green triangle, if not an overbought box. Sure enough, we are getting that right now. Green histograms on the MVP oscillator here for the hourly chart, flirting with that 30 on the RSI. What's the 4 hour saying to us? Yeah, it's mid-level for the RSI. Chart prime's not quite there, but it could catch up here. Let's take a look at fixed range volume profile. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that little thing right there. Let's take a look at fixed range for just this little area and see if there's anything that we could be targeting back down towards. Let me zoom for you guys. Here we go. All right, point of control. We keep dropping. Point of control down here to $3.38 is interesting. Where we currently are, there's not really valleys here. So this is one that we do not have to make it all the way back down to this peak, but this is one I could see. I could see us continue dropping, and the 4 hour chart is showing there is room to the downside potentially. So while I'm bullish on render, could we see a render fall back down to 3.38 cents? Would not surprise me. Something I have not pulled up here a lot today. Let's take a look at our market oracle. So yeah, we have way down here 4 hour dynamic reaction. Let's see what the hourly. I'm sure the hourly is closer. Yeah. What did we say right there? 341. When we got let's see. Let's just zoom out. It'll reload for us. Not quite right at that point of control, but sitting there in that same region. Could we just see a revisit of the 1 hour dynamic reactor here for render? That to me, I think could be interesting. We are right on top of that trend assistant, but trend assistance, I have seen bounces on them, so I'm not going to say it never happens, but trend assistance more just helps you know when things are bullish or bearish. It's still bullish staying up above here. If we were to drop below that, then of course we'll just get a red trend assistant. Not necessarily my favorite indicator from Chart Prime, but when I have all these oscillators and I have this Market Oracle Pro, I don't know what I just hit because I think I just deleted the yeah, I'll have to fix that. I'll have to fix that when you're talking, T-Shroom. I accidentally conveniently hit the X on the Chart Prime oscillator there when I was talking about it. But yeah, I'm not going to be surprised to see a little more of a pullback here on render. But long term, again, when I move to the upside and I'm looking at the macro, I still see a lot of bullishness, maybe making a push up here towards $5.30 for render over the next, again, week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'm not really certain how long. But that, I'm going to hit pause, some technical analysis. We're going to do some stories. It's 11:36. We don't have to stop right at 12 o'clock on the dot because it's nice and Saturday, but we're probably not going to run too much further than that. Stick around. We will talk about Caspa, but we're going to take a break, get the trivia question of the day, jump into some stories because there have been some good ones here that we do want to talk about. But if you have not already, smash that like button because when we get 100 likes, there will be a hat reveal. We're at 60. You got to get to 100 while we are still live, and you're gonna find out, is Tim losing his hair, and is that why he's wearing a beanie, or is it because Tim's hair is too long? You guys also can vote on that if you want to guess.
I think we're gonna make it. I think we're gonna make it.
I think we are too. We got 112 people watching. We're more than halfway there. You guys got it. Just smash the like button. You're good.
That's right. Smash the like button, folks. Make it happen. I'm going to make this one brief here, guys, because I do have a message I want to bring to you from one of our partners over at decrypt.tax. Decrypt.tax, it's a great place to feel secure, feel confident, and feel comfortable about your tax, whether you're filing as a professional, as a person, right, or as a business. As a business, your deadline's coming up, and it's coming up quick, right? December 31st, you got to have those corporate filings if you've been investing or trading crypto through a corporation, through an LLC. December 31st is your deadline. If you think you're going to be able to handle it alone, that's fine. But if you have some questions, you can slide on into decrypt.tax and book your free consultation, 30 minutes. Don't talk his ear off, but let Ernest know that the Investing Bros sent you, and you'll get 25% off the services. Tim, decrypt.tax is where you get your taxes done. It's where I get my taxes done. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain with that free 30-minute consultation. Don't look, Tim. But I'm not even on the chart. Chainlink's all-time high?
Okay. Well, I know we got to the 0.5 level, which doesn't mean that Fibonacci, by the way, 0.5, you would think it means 50% of the dot, but it does not mean 50% of the dot. But that level was at 16, which of course would make the top 36. So that's the option is not even here.
I love it.
But I am going to say, because of the closeness of it, I'm going to say I should know this. Like, I shouldn't have to debate. It's obviously either A or D, but I don't know which one. And I'm leaning towards 44. And this is one we're going to pretty much have to answer. Like, or you just want me to not look the whole time and just wait and suspense? Because everyone else will be able to just go look it up, and then the answer.
You got to make a answer very quickly, because there's going to be
it's D. I'm saying D. I'm
okay.
going with D. I just saw someone say A, but I already said D. Yeah, a lot of people commenting A now. All right, well, maybe
honest
I was wrong.
Tim. He's very honest. He's very honest. Unlike the lawyers over at the SEC, and they're finally about to get their wrists smacked with the ruler of justice. U.S. judge threatens SEC for false arguments in debt box case. Now, I did some research on debt box. I can't remember all the details, but I don't. If I remember correctly, it was a pretty bad scam, but I could be off on that. Regardless of that, let's go ahead and check out some of the details here. The SEC's misrepresentations undermine the integrity of the case's proceedings, in addition to causing debt box irreparable harm, Judge Shelby said in the court order. So there's really not a ton more to take from this, unless you are, really deep into the debt box court case narrative. Obviously, this could be very bullish for debt box. Not that I think it should be, but ultimately, There's a lot going on here because this is a federal judge kind of turning around and saying, hey, these lawyers are up to no good. These lawyers that are working over at the Securities and Exchange Commission, another federal agency, they're up to no good, right? They're misrepresenting, they're lying in the courtroom, which it wouldn't be the first time that a lawyer's done that. But here we are, and this could potentially blossom into something else, and it's kind of making its way, flurrying across the crypto media landscape because this could have some pretty big implications. As of right now, it's just a threat from a U.S. judge, right? But this could be a story to monitor.
But the whole thing, like I said, is stupid. I was thinking about this last night. I almost questioned. I was like, is that perjury? But I was like, oh, well, I guess a lawyer doesn't have to like swear in when they do that. But that's so crazy is that like they literally lied to a federal judge. And it's not going to be considered perjury because, again, they weren't sworn under oath to do it. However, I tweeted about it last night. I don't know if you saw it, T-Shirt, but I tweeted. I was like, wait, so they're lying to freeze. Again, I thought the whole SEC thing was they wanted to protect retail investors' money, but they literally lied to a judge to freeze customers' money. But then I was like, well, they didn't manipulate the price. And that's the only thing Gary's talked about here recently that he cares about is don't manipulate the price. So Gary will not manipulate the price. He'll take your money and he'll freeze it and he won't let you make it. But rest assured, Gary's protecting your money from being manipulated. So,
yep. And I do remember debt boxes looked very, very sketchy. Very sketchy. Yeah. And Eric Wallen said, my wife equals debt box. That's pretty good. Yeah. That's pretty good. We all love our wives and soon to be wives for any of those who may be listening. All right, we're moving on into the next story here. We already covered this one yesterday, but it is important. We want to bring it to everybody's attention. Circle denies links to bad guys financing and Justin Sun, right? So I got the letter pulled up here. They wrote a letter to to U.S. senators, specifically Elizabeth Warren and others, about these 2 points. First, it's that Circle has long made combating illicit finance activities, including the use of currency in any form to fund bad guys, a guiding principle of their business. Okay, the other point is this. The first one, fairly routine, right? This is a natural reaction from Circle against allegations of them helping to abate and fund bad guys, right? Second, Circle does not bank Justin Sun. Seems a little random, seems a little off pace. Neither Mr. Sun nor any entity owned or controlled by Mr. Sun, including the Tron Foundation or Huabe Global, currently have accounts with Circle. So really what's to take out there is that, jumping to the conclusion, we talked about this in our last episode yesterday, 3 p.m. show, is that Tron could be the next Binance here. Tron could be the next entity that the DOJ, the CFTC, the SEC point their weapons at and pull the trigger. We shall see. Of course, this is speculation at this point, but this letter is the optics of it is Circle, right? Inside, Circle is an entity that is inside, the trusted financial circle now of North America, of the Western financial establishment, right? And they're trying to distance themselves from this man, Justin Sun, and his organizations as aggressively and as intentionally as they're trying to distance themselves from illicit financing of bad guys. So something to point out there. If there is any action that I was going to take, is that I would rethink my investments in the Tron ecosystem. Not saying any kind of financial advice, right? But I would reevaluate maybe the risks of being in those investments. And if you're a big fan of Tron, I'm sorry, this might be a moment to reevaluate your emotional relationships with these projects as well. We all have them, right? It's the extent to which we're honest about those relationships that is going to ultimately save us from losses.
Interesting.
Yep.
Very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
is that all the stories?
We have one more story, Tim. We have one more story bringing up the rear, but it's pretty bullish. This is Grayscale setting up for Bitcoin ETF race by hiring industry veteran from Invesco. Invesco, one of the leaders in ETFs. Hoffman, a ETF veteran, spent over 17 years at investment manager Invesco, first as the director of ETF institutional sales and capital markets as Invesco PowerShale's capital management before moving into advisory role, and most recently leading the Americas ETF and index strategy team. So a lot of that, who cares? But what's important here is that the optics of someone from, again, the traditional financial system, making the jump from Invesco over to Grayscale, just weeks before potentially their spot ETF for Bitcoin could get approved. Right now, it's just a trust, right?
Yeah.
Right now, it's just a trust. They want to convert that into a spot ETF, which is something you can do with a trust. And you probably don't know that, but Mr. Hoffman, John Hoffman,
I'm the one that wrote
does.
I wrote the policy on it, actually.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's bullish, right? Tim, I have to ask you, was there any updates from your buddy who's got that video coming out?
And you're reading my mind, T-Shroom. This is the crannies we needed. The crannies the show was asking for.
The crypto
Will Tim and
crannies.
T-Shroom get on the same page here? Because I was literally going to say, this is a great segue into that video is actually live. So when we're done live, you guys go watch it. Josh did a phenomenal job. Great video. But it is one that I'm gonna tell you what happens. And I'm going to let you guys in the chat, and then me and T-Shroom, we're going to have a little bit of a debate zone here. We're going to have a little bit of like, hey, what do we agree? Do we disagree? Is there another scenario playing out? So, spoilers, though. I mean, I'm spoiling it. The video starts off with Josh very dramatically saying, get ready to sell your crypto. And no, I am not kidding. Maybe he uses different words, but it's the gist. That's the gist, he says, right? Very captivating. Makes you, all right, I'm in. What's wrong here?
And here's the thumbnail.
And yeah, great thumbnail. Look, 3,100 views already. Only 45 minutes old. It's a phenomenal video, right?
Is it?
Here's what it is. Here's what he says. This is the point, though. And go watch it, too, because he says more, and he presents a lot more evidence than I'm going to give you guys because I can't give you all of it. His point is that he believes there's a 90% chance that we actually see the Grayscale ETF in January be denied. He's not talking about Gary Gensler coming out and saying that he's denying all ETFs and then we're not going to ever get them. He is saying the only one that Gary has to give an answer for on January 10th is Grayscale. The rest of them he could push off all the way to March. And he believes, despite the fact that a lot of experts have come out and said that they're saying there's a 90% chance that we get approval by January 10th at this point, he's saying, no, I'm going to go the other side. 90% chance that we see a rejection. And his kind of reasoning, I actually kind of agree with. I've told you guys that I said I'm a 45% chance of it getting approved in January. I was one of the lower ones. I know a lot of people that are higher than that, but he's saying 9% chance it doesn't get approved, which means 10% it does get approved. He thinks the convenience of everything that just happened with Binance and the remarks that Gary's made about manipulation is going to give Gary the excuse in January to go to a judge and say, look at what we've seen happen recently with FTX. Look at what we've seen happen with Binance. Look at what we've seen with these other things. Look at all the reports people are giving in here. There is still cause for concern of manipulation. Please give us more time to evaluate this stuff. Now, more than likely, Grayscale is going to sue, and I think Gary's prepared for that. But his point is, it's too soon. That more than likely, with all these people saying 90% chance we're going to approve, it's not going to happen. That Gary's going to continue to delay. And more realistically, we're talking about somewhere between March and May being the actual approval while they continue to work the cycles of saying, hey, how can we continue to line everything up so there's no manipulation? Of course, we all know this is the stupidest thing in the world. Gary Gensler's out here lying to freeze accounts. He's about to give the reins of Bitcoin to the likes of BlackRock, Fidelity, JP Morgan, and others who have historically been known to lie to their users to manipulate price action so they can gobble all the supply. But forget about that. They want to make sure decentralized exchanges are not manipulating price. They want to make sure stable coins are not manipulating price. They want to make sure these terrible security altcoins that are unregulated are not manipulating price, right? So here becomes the debate. I want to know what you guys think. Put in chat, comment right now. What is the likelihood of approval for ETFs in January? Are you agreeing with the experts? 90% chance we get an approval. Are you agreeing with Josh? 90% chance that we're getting a denial, in which case what you'd put is 10%. Put 10% chance of approval if you agree with Josh. And then, or put somewhere in the middle. I'm going to kind of stay where I am, somewhere around 45%, which means I'm leaning towards not having approval, T-Shirt. But where are you with all of this? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I haven't watched the video. I'm still going to stick with the Bloomberg analysis.
Yeah. And that's where a lot of people are going to be. Yeah,
because you have to realize, like, the best people to predict this horse race of who's going to win are the people from Wall Street, because this is a Wall Street event. This isn't a crypto event.
Well,
right?
It's true. It's true. But just so this in the video, he talks about these people saying 90%. He goes into their kind of their track record of their predictions, and it's not good. These people have not been good at making calls. So they gave the same people gave a 75% chance of it being approved in November. And we're talking like it's gonna happen. There's just a chance that. And then, of course, we here at Investing Bros, I think we were both on the same page there. We were like, yeah, it's probably not going to happen this year. We're looking at 2024. But he goes in and he says these guys who are supposed to be experts, the argument you just made, don't have a good track record of calling things right. And my point with this whole thing is it doesn't matter whose predictions are what. Literally the only person who's going to make this call is Gary Gensler. And there's not a single human being in this planet who understands what's going on in the mind of Gary Gensler, except for Gary Gensler. I mean, we've heard Hester Peirce come out and pretty much say, I don't know when they're going to be approved. I've got no sign of when they're going to be approved because I don't even understand why they haven't been approved up to this point. I don't understand the thinking of my cohorts here at the SEC. Their excuses are BS. So if they've been BS up to this point, why are we predicting that they're not going to be BS from here on out? Like that's kind of my rational thinking for why I'm not very keen on these experts' predictions. And you're right. They know more about the situation than I do. So I'm not proposing and sitting here saying like I'm a genius and they're stupid. They're smarter than me. I'm just going to say it. They are. But that doesn't mean they're right. That doesn't mean that they're going to get this one true. And I'm just trying to think as rationally and logically as possible to prepare myself. And the point here, I guess, as we kind of clear this out, and I'm getting predictions here in chat. A lot of people kind of mixed bag here, but I've seen a lot of people saying they still think it's going to be approved at that time. His point would also be that we rally up to that point. In the video, he talks about 45,000, maybe 50,000, maybe 55,000. But we get that kind of devastating news. And then the illusion is that Gary kind of leaves it open-ended. It's not like, hey, just give us till March. It's almost like Gary begs the court, hey, we are still massively worried about manipulation. We need a lot longer to deal with this. And there becomes this whole thing of like, we're not saying that ETFs won't be approved, but there's maybe an outspread thought that we're not even going to get one in 2024. And then we have all this hype from it coming, and then it's not going to come pre-halving. And then that's the letdown where people finally take profit. The price dips back down. He says 36,000. So it's not even that bearish of a pullback he's predicting. I still think 30 to 31 and 32 area is a pretty good chance. But that's kind of how that video concludes. Go watch it because he gives out a lot more information. He does it very, very well. Love Josh. He's just a first of all, great presence in the office, but a world of knowledge. And I tend to kind of agree with some of the stuff he said in that video.
Now he has this price prediction in the video, or this price movement prediction. Did you see this part?
Yeah, well, if you watch the video, he shows that, and it shows 39. He says 30. He said it could drop to 36,000 or mid to high $30,000 level. So he doesn't really give an exact number. All he's saying is, look at it goes all the way up to 54. He says it could get to 50, 55, and then he says, but it'll more than likely fall back into the $30,000 range
after the SEC kind of takes everybody to the
but
surprise
then he says,
party.
Yeah, but then he says the halving happens and then approvals do come. He was predicting March to May area for an actual approval, right there, kind of at the same time as the halving. He still thinks the summer is going to be bullish. So it's not like a super bearish one. He even kind of talks about. I think he says you have to watch this to confirm. And I still advise you guys to think for yourself on what you want to do. He proposes that his plan is to sell 50%. If the news comes out that they're denying the Grayscale ETF, his plan is to sell 50%. Keep 50% in just to let it ride, but he's going to sell 50% to buy at those lower prices. And again, he's looking to buy back in at the mid to high $30,000 range. So
what's basically happening here with this video, it sounds to me like, is you're kind of scraping off the legitimacy of the Bloomberg analyst and saying, yes, we are trusting, we are believing these Bloomberg analysts, and that it's a mistake. That's what it seems like the video
he's pretty much saying that you hit it on the head. He's saying, guys, just because they're experts, experts make predictions all the time that are wrong.
Yeah.
So
cool. Well, why don't we take a look at Caspa? I think we were going to do that, and we can round out the show.
We were. Now, we were talking about this yesterday. I told you guys about a trade opportunity. Don't do anything with this yet, guys, or if you have another way to trade this, We are going to be having a partner here very soon. Eric Wallen guessed it. There's a couple things we got to clean up. We're more than likely going to be running with this early next week, but we have a partnership with an exchange called Blowfin. I don't know why I don't have it pulled up. Blowfin right here. I don't think there's any information there, so you guys can't do anything with it anyway. That's always the risk you have when you pull up these exchanges. Blowfin, though, I was looking at this morning because there's not a lot of exchanges that have Caspa, but if you want to trade futures, by the way, guys, this is a non-KYC. You don't need a VPN. You don't need KYC. You can do futures trading. I was playing with it a little bit earlier today.
But we don't have a code yet, so don't get it yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't do it just yet. You'll have things later, but they have Caspa USDT. So I'm going to be entering a trade on Caspa here soon. What we're looking at right here, why am I entering a trade, guys? Well, because we had a bull flag. So we had a bull pennant that we just broke here. The resistance. I told you guys yesterday. I'm sorry, got to move this down the right place. I told you yesterday, do not be surprised to see a little bit of a pullback. We could come down a little further, but in reality, the fact that we broke the lower highs, got higher than right here, and then we're now sitting on support. If you guys do have an exchange right now where you could enter a trade on Caspa, I think this is a good entry. In fact, this is what my trade will look like. Long position. I'm going to go ahead and put this right here. I'm going to put now, what I'm going to do with this trade, I am probably going to be taking profit, 50% profit somewhere in this more middle zone, closer to 17.70, 17.60, or 17 cents, with 17.6, 17.7 cents. Kind of take half of this profit there, then wait to let the rest of it ride to the top. I'm going to put my stop loss. Yeah, let's put that stop loss right here. I'm going to go slightly below because sometimes when you pick your point and you have another point you're looking at to take your stop loss, sometimes it gets right to that level and then you get stopped out and it's like, oh, that sucks. But what I have here, I'm going to get a little bit risky with this one, which means if my risk is high with the percentages, I'm going to go, if I'm leverage trading, I'm going to go lower with the amount of money. Like I'm not going to risk a large portion of my portfolio on this trade. But my risk to reward ratio, we're looking at here a potential 75%. Even if I was trading 1-to-1, I'm probably going to enter this somewhere around I haven't decided yet. 5 to 10x is probably my range here, but I'm going to play it. 50% are going to come out here about the midway point around 17.7. If we drop down here lower towards 11 cents, 11.4 cents, all right, I lost this one. But what I'm seeing here with this more bullishness, we're breaking support levels. We're moving to the upside. When I'm looking at the oscillators, we're ignoring some of these bearish calls here on the larger time frames. We might have a small regrouping, but when I come down here to the hourly chart, for example, we've regrouped very, very fast. This is, to me, a very good looking trade over the next little bit. And of course, Caspa is a great coin here more recently, very hot. And I want to clarify in case you guys didn't watch the show yesterday, because I said this, what I'm talking about right here is not my long-term HODL portfolio. I am still looking for a potential pullback to around 9.5 cents for my long-term investment for Caspa. This will be a small portion of my total portfolio, even a smaller portion of my trading portfolio, where I maybe risk like a couple $100 to make, if I do this correctly, I'm somewhere 5 to 10x, and we get that 75x. I'm gonna make. I could turn a couple $100 here into a couple $1,000, or I could lose a good portion of it, right? Either way, what I'm looking at here is a small trade that is not that risky. And then after we hit this point, I'm still not going to be surprised, guys, to see some of these altcoins dropping back over 50, if not pushing to 60% pullbacks. That's why I'm still looking at this 9-cent range as a good long-term buy. Could I be wrong? I could be wrong. And if I change my mind, I will definitely let you guys all know why I would buy it at a higher level. But to me, I still feel confident about waiting for a lower Caspa price before my long-term buy. The good news is here, even if you do, just want to comfort any of you who maybe just bought recently, like, Tim, did I make a mistake? No, you didn't make a mistake. Guys, I think that Caspa is a coin that will easily get above $1. The question is, and I'm going to do a price prediction video, how much higher do we get? I'm just a little teaser there. My prediction is going to be over $1, all right?
You're doing a Caspa price prediction video?
Do we make it to $2? Do we make it to $3? It's going to be a hard video to do one on because there's not a lot of history. And you guys know the way I've done my price predictions, I like to look at historical movements. This one, I'm going to have to do a lot of comparison to other projects and things. So look for that to come soon. But I'm very bullish on Caspa. And so for that reason, like I said, if you guys just bought, if you're like, Tim, I just bought here at $13, guys, goodbye. Don't freak out. Don't go crazy. I'm going to make more content on this moving forward too, about the psychology of investing and trading, because this is going to happen every single cycle. You're going to meet people who buy the tops and sell the bottoms perfectly, and then it becomes a joke that they're the perfect signal. Anytime they buy, they know the market's about to go to downside. Anytime they sell, they know the market's about to go up.
Kramer.
The reason why is because a lot of people do not have a proper risk to reward strategy. They're constantly thinking, how do I make a lot of money right now? How do I they're not okay with a 5x. They want to make an 100x. And it's like, no, sometimes be okay with a coin only doing a 5x. That's still phenomenal. Be okay with a coin only doing a 2x. Guys, in traditional finance, it is considered you are an amazing investor if your investments go up by like 10% a year. Like, you're considered a good investor. That's proper management. If you double your money in a cycle, if you double your money in a year in the trading world, you are considered a genius, right? And I'm talking about not crypto. I'm talking about like traditional finance, stocks, and everything else. You are considered a trading genius. In crypto, we can do 2x's in literally about 3 hours, right? That stuff kind of happens all the time. Learn to be patient. Learn not to be greedy. We're going to talk a lot more about that. As you guys stay with us, if you're subscribed to the channel, you're going to be with me and T-Stream every single day throughout this very exciting and explosive bull market. But I do want to let you know, if you are looking for a channel that gets risky and plays, plays with money every single day and does risk it all to turn $10,000 into $1 million in 30 days, this is not the right channel for you guys. I'm telling you right now, this is not the channel where we are going to make 100x's in a month. Why? Because that is not good risk to reward management. We are going to be in this for the long haul. We're not just in this for the end of 2024. We're not just in into 2025. We're not just in this for 2030. This channel is about helping people create generational wealth over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And we're going to do it responsibly, and we're going to do it with low risk, and we're going to do it in a way that when we lose, we learn lessons that make us more money in the future. If that's the type of channel and that's the type of investing you want to be a part of, this is the perfect channel for you. Please subscribe. Watch every single video we put out. But I want to make sure we are on the same page. If you guys want to be crazy risk takers, you can still watch us. We love you being here, but you're not going to get the calls for a lot of risk from us. You're going to get a lot of safety and secure investing tips. And that's what we're all about here.
Absolutely. Love it. I love it, Tim. Cool.
Boom.
It's a weekend, baby. Here we are.
That's a lot of stuff happening here. T-Stream, it is 12:03. So we're in a little over. But I have nowhere to go. Do you have anything else you want to talk about? Do we have any chat here that we want to read here? Let's see. Remember, okay, let's see. All right, so Surge Party King Tech. Remember, guys, they had 100K as a low ball estimate on Bitcoin last time, and it didn't happen. Talk any prediction with a fat grain of salt. I think it's take. But prediction. Surge, I love it. I love what you are saying right there. I still believe we're going above 100K, and there's reasons for it. Institutions are going to be heavily involved. This is going to be the institutional bull market. We have not seen that happen. The largest player in the last bull market was Elon and Tesla. So that was an institution, but we all know that Elon, he's a forward thinker. He's ahead of the curve on pretty much everything he does. This is the one that the trillions of dollars of institutional money will come in. So I'm still leaning somewhere between 150 to 200,000 as my most realistic prediction for Bitcoin. But you're absolutely right. And here's what I'm going to tell you guys. I'm not just trading numbers on a chart. Like, if we hit this number, I'm taking profit, because in the same way that you're saying, hey, Surge is saying like, hey guys, last time everyone thought 100K and then we didn't get there. Well, let's say we get to 200,000 by January of 2025. Well, the time's not right for the market to be over. So I'm not going to tell you guys in January 2025, yep, 200,000, that's it, take profit, right? There's also this time thing. There's also about the cycles. In reality, it's a mixture of, hey, how high is the price? Is the price at the level you're comfortable with to take profit to go invest in other things? Like part of my plan is to buy real estate in this next bull market, right? So at a certain point, it might not be the tip top of Bitcoin or any other altcoin, but I might say, hey, I think there's only like another 20, 30% left here. I don't want to risk not getting some good liquidity to buy into real estate, which is a market that I think will boom in the next 20, 30 years of my life. I'm going to go and take profit now and get into and diversify my investments as a whole. But I'm going to be looking very heavily at price action, also time. Where are we in price action as we start to get into the later summer months and early fall months? That's when I'm looking to kind of say, whether the price is at 99,000 or 450,000, that to me is where I'm going to be talking a lot more about potential top action. Raj here gave a super chat. Thank you so much, Raj. Any thoughts on the new DeFi coin? Okay, so the coin's actually DeFi. Okay, the ICO has just ended. Wanted to know your opinion. I'm going to be honest with you, Raj. I'm not, again, I don't go into a lot of degen. I think I heard rumblings about this coin, but I don't know anything about it. T-Shirt, have you heard anything about DeFi?
Well, I can't imagine that there's got to be infinite tickers, DeFi tickers.
I don't know.
So
I don't know.
I mean, you type it in, and there's 100 results on CoinMarketCap. So you're going to have to be more specific. The ICO has just ended.
Yeah.
This isn't the channel for like those early shots, right? We're mostly talking about Chainlinks. Like we're edgy when we're talking about Caspa, right?
Yeah.
So
it's true.
Just that's a little bit of context, but thank you for the super chat there, Raj. We appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah, and Crux of Crypto in the chat said, not being in at least 75% on your bags by now isn't good risk to reward management. We're in a narrow window of a possible pullback of up to 30%, but could 2x in price in a month.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not time. But again, here's the thing: is like even when you take profit, here's what I want to tell everyone right now. I'm definitely not gonna do this. When we hit, like if we get to 45, 50K, right, and then we get the not, like let's say Josh is 100% right. The price in January 10th is up at $50,000, and then Gary Gensler comes out and says we're denying the ETF and we're applying for an extension. I'm not going to sell 100%. At best, I don't even think I'm going to do 50%. I think at best I'm going to do like 30 to 40% because there is a chance that I take that profit and then the price just continues to shoot because I don't know, of price manipulation, which would be Gary Gensler confirming his suspicions. I don't know if I will ever take 100% out. Like there's going to be a portion of Bitcoin, especially that that's just my long-term ride. That's like Brody's college / future, emergency. Like that's just money I'm just gonna let ride. And whether the price of Bitcoin gets to $1 million or falls back down to 2,000, I'm just gonna let that sit there. Which is not gonna fall back down to 2,000. Even Savvy doesn't think it's gonna fall down to 2,000. So I'm just getting ridiculous with that prediction. My point though is, don't try to think I'm going to make a financially brilliant move by taking 100% profit when Bitcoin hits 50,000 and I'm going to buy back perfectly all of it right at 30,000 because that's not a strategy that wins a lot of money. That's usually a strategy that wrecks people and then they either want to give up on investing in completely or even worse. I'm not going to get into the worst categories. I've heard stories that I don't want to repeat and some craziness, but just please don't be those people. Don't be the person that thinks that you're going to be a financial guru genius and move 100% of your portfolios at times. Time in the market will beat timing the market every single time.
Literally zero traders or investors move 100% of their portfolio ever.
Yeah.
Even like a 08 like financial crisis situation, you wouldn't move 100% of your portfolio.
Well, you want to talk about 100 T-shirt?
Well, there is a time that you would move 100%. That's if you go bankrupt to pay off your creditors, right?
But speaking of 100, guys, we are at 98 likes. 2 away from 100.
2 away.
We're so close. Just 2 of you. There's 125 people still watching. We got all the way up to like 160, I think I saw at one point. 2 of you. Just 2 of you. Not 4 like CZ. Likes. 2 of you.
Oh, now 1. Just now one more like.
And you guys will see the craziest bald head or hairy head you've ever seen.
Oh, 100 likes. There we go.
There we go. Well, you have headphones. Yeah, so go ahead and put in your bets, which, by the way, we never answered the trivia question, T-Shroom. It was I verified. Technically, it wasn't. Like, you said 52, but my chart says that it got up to 54, I think.
So I'm going off
Elk was just The elf was completely off.
No, I was going off the coin
sure
market cap.
Yeah, I'm sure there was some exchange, where that was the top, but it wasn't the top for Binance. Binance got up to 54.70. All right, here we go. 100 likes. Yeah, well, it's just wrong. So the Alpha needs to update its sources.
That's just where I got it.
These are the heads of the bros, and this is why Tim has been wearing a beanie here more recently.
Oh, I look exactly the same as yesterday. Whoa.
Yeah. It's still here. I mean, if anyone say like Tim's balding, well, Tim's been balding since you're like 17 years old. Yeah, look at these. I want to go bald. Taylor won't let me.
Tim, you need to get a
I got
haircut.
this deep receding hairline, but yeah, I need a haircut like first. Let's see how nuts we can get with it.
All right.
When I wake up in the morning, it can get really crazy.
I'm seeing some bearish divergence in that haircut, my man.
Yeah, it's rough, man. It's rough.
The hair to scalp ratio
Yeah.
is starting to look very T-Shroom like.
Yeah, dude, I need it's so bad. I was supposed to get one. My mom was my eyes just melted. Well, this is what you get the rest of the time. My mom was she owned her own when I was born. She owned her own salon and stuff, so she cut hair and stuff. So I grew up always. My mom.
She owned Solana. That young.
She owned Solana, the phone. No, a salon, and she was up here like a month ago, and she was supposed to cut my hair, and I don't know, like it was like we both forgot or something. And by the way, this is a showered hair. Candle Daddy says need a shower. I washed my hair this morning. Maybe I'm sweating because of the hat, but
just because it's unkept doesn't mean it's not clean.
No, it's clean, guys.
It's clean. That's a clean head right there.
That's a clean head. I just need to get that haircut again.
Yeah.
I always like shorter hair too, even though it's cool. Like some people are like, "Oh, it's cold. Why don't you keep longer hair?" I'm like, I just hate it. Even in the cold, like long, especially the sides. Like I would have no problem like carrying and like styling something with the top, but like when the sides of my hair get this long, it's just annoying.
Yeah.
So you guys get a treat here. You got a treat by seeing my chaos.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Hair.
Guys, if you're having fun, just as we close out here, if you're having fun, consider upping the ante here. You can become a member of the Investing Bros. You get all kinds of perks, but the biggest one that a lot of folks really like is being able to join the paid Discords where Tim and I and a whole host of crypto enthusiasts and traders, we post our trades when we're entering, when we're exiting, of course, for educational purposes, not financial advice. But folks really like that. And also there's just a ton of fun to be had and a lot of things to learn about the crypto space, especially if you're new. It would really go a long way to help your crypto career to join the Investing Bros Discord. And there's a free link too. There's a free Discord link. It's the first link in our description. But if you want to take that next step, let's say you've been in the free SaaS for a while. If you want to take that next step and join the membership, you're not going to regret it. And chances are, if you've made it this far into the video, you're a prime candidate to join our YouTube membership program.
Yeah, and here's the thing: T-Shirt and I've been talking. We've been going back and forth. Some of you guys go. Well, I got you. Go to my screen. So this join button. You click on this join button. There's an option here. Silver, you guys read through this. We have a once a week a bro time. You get behind the scenes. You get to obviously have a green name, get the badges, get to use these cool emojis. But $4.99 a month, not a lot. Gold, we have another behind the scenes bro time. So you guys had two of them. You guys get to this gold level, like we ask a lot of questions. We actually make a lot of business decisions. We're gonna talk with them about some of this stuff here too. But that's really cool. We have a diamond member, $50 a month, $49.99 a month. We really haven't pushed this because the original thought at a certain point was to maybe put some trading courses in here. Well, we have some news coming that we will be doing some courses. But you guys have to wait on news on that. It's not going to come in here in diamond. But what I'm thinking to do potentially, I think that we might activate this diamond membership for $50 a month, but have multiple streams throughout the week, some early in the morning, some late at night, some on the weekends. We'll have to kind of fix our schedule, but myself and T-Shroom and maybe some special guests we'll be able to come in and we'll go through my thought here is that we'll go through we'll maybe even do some live trading if there's a good time to do it, but we'll reflect on all the trades we made that day. We'll look forward to some trade setups for the next next couple of days. Every single one will be an AMA where you guys can come in and ask us questions about what you've been trading. We of course can't give people financial advice. I have been instructed by a person who I've been one of my friends who knows a lot about this. He's like, yeah, be very careful even with those paid groups of specifically giving people financial advice. But as long as we word it in things like, this is what I'm doing, and then you ask like, Tim, I just set up this trade, what do you think of it? I can kind of give you feedback on your technical analysis. That will not count as financial advice. I'm thinking about starting this group, and again, multiple times, mornings, evenings, and then again, special level in Discord where we can constantly be chatting about trade setups. Let me know if that is something you guys would be interested in. Like if we only got like 1 or 2 people to do it, maybe that's not a lot. But if we got a decent amount of people who are interested in becoming a part of that, we might launch that here very, very soon. Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the Discord if that's something you guys would be interested in. Maybe you're not even interested in today, but you're like, Tim, give me 2 more months, give me 3 more months, and I would love to be a part of that. Let me know when we might get that going. It could be pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Eric Browning, by the way, said, I effing love you bros. Thanks for making every day better and better. Thank you so much, Eric Browning. We are here. We love having a fun time with you guys as well. He also asked NCAAF rapid rundown, Tim. Tish, FSU win or lose today. Do you have an opinion about FSU's today?
Dude, that game with the Gators last week was such a close game, and then
It was.
FSU pulled it out there at the end. It sucked to lose to
Yeah.
FSU. But, I mean, they're like, what, in the top 3 teams, so...
They're good. Their quarterback was so the Gators quarterback was out too, but their quarterback was out, so there was the prime opportunity for the Gators to win. How about the game last night? Those of you football fans, Washington back and forth with Oregon. I thought Oregon was going to come out ahead, but they didn't. So go Washington. They're the only team right now safe to be in the playoffs. Texas, Oklahoma State. Did you see like the disgusting thing on Oklahoma State? Some like fraternity like killed one of those Longhorn cows like as a prank or whatever. But that's not a prank. Like that was pretty gross. So I'm rooting for Texas for a plethora of reasons, but I also think they're going to win. I think Texas will win, but if they don't get some help from some other teams losing, doesn't matter. Texas is not going to be in their playoffs. Georgia versus Alabama. There's a lot of injuries on the Georgia roster right now. Alabama, I still think Georgia is just too talented on defense, and Georgia also has a way of like playing sloppy in games they really should run away with because it's like they're mentally thinking ahead and preparing for the big ones. Georgia in the last 3 years has showed up and balled out in every major game they've played in. I'm going to stick with Georgia beating Alabama. SMU Tulane, the quarterback is out because he's transferring. So a lot of people, I saw someone ask earlier, do I think that SMU can win that game without their quarterback? Well, they weren't going to have him anyway. He's injured. That's why he gave his announcement early, is because he got injured. He wasn't going to play anyway. So yeah, that's pretty big. SMU without their star quarterback. Tulane's a good team. They're the ranked team anyway. So I think Tulane is going to win that game. Michigan, Iowa. I'm rooting for Iowa. Honestly, guys, I would love to see Iowa play well and do well, but they're not going to beat Michigan. Michigan is pretty good. Louisville, Florida State. The starting quarterback's hurt. The backup is under concussion protocol and it's going to be a game time decision. I got to watch Louisville play against Virginia Tech. And it's not like Virginia Tech is the world beaters, but Virginia Tech was a decent team this year. Way better than I thought they were going to be. And Louisville was a good football team. So with a potential third string quarterback for Florida State, a defense that's prone to sloppy play, give me Louisville. This is the upset of the day. Louisville over Florida State. There's not a lot. These are championship weeks. That's why there's not that many games in case you guys don't watch football a lot. Those are my picks. I'm sticking with the favorites in pretty much every single game except for Louisville, Florida State. I think Louisville takes the ACC championship in Jeff Brom's first year. Good for him. Good for them. It sucks for Florida State. As much as I hate Florida State, I'm not a Florida State fan. They had a special run with a very good quarterback, and when he snapped his ankle in half here a couple weeks ago, that was pretty heartbreaking for the team. That could have done something special. Could have gone to playoffs and made some noise, but
looks like Candle Daddy is in a similar situation that I am, where I grew up in a Gator household. He grew up in an FSU household. Must be from Tallahassee or somewhere in Florida where they're fans of the dark side.
Yeah, Crux is saying we need Bama to lose and Louisville to win for UT to make the playoffs. if you go to the rankings, so yeah. So here's the thing. Even if Georgia beats Bama, I think that Texas will stay above Alabama because in a 1-to-1 like that, you want to know the mess that would happen if they put Alabama above Texas. The noise and the outrage will be crazy because Texas beat Alabama. I know it was earlier this year and probably Alabama wasn't the same team. Like if they were to play again today, I might pick Alabama, but that would be ridiculous. The fact that Ohio State's still up this high is ridiculous. They should not be up there. Oregon's going to drop for sure because they just lost again last night. So if we see Georgia, in my mind, Texas should be number 5 in this current list. So I think they just need Florida State or Georgia or Michigan to lose. If one of those 3 teams loses, I think Texas should be considered the 5th first man out. If Florida State and Georgia win, this is the lineup right here. That's the final lineup. If one of them loses, Texas should sneak into number 4. They're conference champion, and they beat who's going to be number 5, Alabama. I think Texas is sitting in a very good spot. That means my final prediction, by the way, guys, my predictions for the playoffs, Georgia versus Texas and Michigan versus Washington is my prediction because I think Florida State's going to lose. If they move Ohio State up to number 4 or they jump Texas with Alabama, I will be a part of the people who are freaking out saying, what the heck? That doesn't even make sense. Ohio State's not a conference champion. They got destroyed by Michigan. Or they didn't destroy. I guess it was a close-ish game, but it was a game that like Michigan was in control the whole time. I would be very upset if Ohio State or Alabama is above Texas at the end of this system, over the end of this ranking.
I won't. I think that's the way it ought to be.
Yep.
And that was our college football corner on the Investing Bros.
That's gonna be like the last one because the NFL still goes on, but we've done college football. We'll do like predictions if big bowl games come up on Saturday shows, but that's gonna be it. Like so this again, last week was the last regular season. Today is the conference champions. After this, there won't be another college football game for like a couple of weeks. I guess there's next week. I say it back. Army Navy game next week. That's all. I always watch Army, even though I don't watch those teams throughout the rest of the year. I always watch the Army Navy game. It's always a very fun atmosphere and a good battle of our troops.
I bet you do, Tim. I bet you love you a good Army Navy game.
You should put a long on it, and then you can make some money. Yeah. All right. Well, that's all we have. As NFL CBS plays this out, thank you so much for watching the Investing Bros. If you have not already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. We will see you guys Monday. Actually, I won't see you Monday. I'm out Monday getting that vehicle. But T-Shirt will see you Monday, and I will see you guys on Tuesday. You guys have a fantastic week. Adios.
What?
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms news, got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.
Investing bros. Investing bros. Investing bros. Investing bros. Investing bros.